And buying or selling a property has been urged by the government to delay completion, even if that's meant to be happening today. Let's find out more from our personal finance correspondent Simon Gompertz, who's in West London. And my goodness, if you were meant to be completing today, Simon, that's quite a tall order to ask you to suddenly stop that.
Yes, it's a tall order, and it's also very worrying for people who are involved in chains of buying and selling houses. In normal times, if you sign and exchange contracts, you're committed to pay the money and to move on a designated date. But what the government is saying is the two parties, the buyer and the seller, should make an amicable agreement to extend that date to beyond the time when restrictions on human contact are lifted. Now, there will be exceptions. In some cases, they admit that it will be unavoidable to change, and they don't want to change critical house moves. Not clear what that is, but it could be situations where key workers are moving, for instance, or where elderly people are moving out of a home into somewhere where they can be cared for.
And in terms of the wider property market, like so many parts of the economy, Simon, it had been slightly on the up in recent times, but we can only speculate what this is going to do to it now.
A huge impact, I think, because you have to take this alongside the fact that there can be no viewings of properties, that estate agents are closed, that removals companies are not taking on any new business, and the impact is going to be a very sharp fall in transactions and in activity in the housing market. On the plus side, solicitors are getting together to design these new clauses which will go into contracts to extend completion until after restrictions are lifted. The downside, of course, is that anyone trying to move at the moment, it's incredibly worrying, and that those housing chains could well fall through, and some people will be looking to pay less money, which is a challenge as well.
Yes. All right. Thanks very much for now. Simon Gompertz. Well, during this time of crisis, many of us are trying to find a way to support